welcome back to a new video. So this week's video is going to be a little bit of a college life tips and things type of video. Anything that I feel like maybe you guys might want to know about what it's like first moving into colleges, what to expect for your first day, what is the business and what's going on, and just to give you a little insight. Maybe you feel a little angsty and want to know a little bit more information. So that's what this video is going to be about. So if you are moving in to a dorm and this is your first year, there's so much that you don't need, but it's okay. So you're going to take most of the time, everybody's going to take a whole bunch of different things that they don't need specifically, and then they just have a whole bunch of clutter in there. Well, that's fine, because you go home for winter break and you can take all that stuff with you, and whatever you don't need you take home, or if you're going home frequent because you're closer to home, you can always take things bits by bits. That's what I ended up doing. So yeah, try to pack mainly necessities, and then whatever you feel like after you have room for, pack those things. Honestly, one of the things that I thought that I would really be like reading and doing would be books. I did not read. I mean, I did read, but you definitely have to cut out time if it's something that you really want to do, because if you're taking like a huge amount of credits, you're not really going to have the time, because you're going to be using that time to study, or when you do get downtime, you're going to want to sleep or actually just relax and watch TV, because all you're going to be doing is studying, reading all of your notes, things like that. So then reading for downtime is like, I don't really want to read because, you know, stuff like that. So don't, if you want to bring a couple, like maybe 2 books or so, which is what I did, I ended up actually reading those 2, but I wouldn't suggest bringing any more than that. Most of you guys, if you're freshmen going in, you're going to be living with another person in the dorm. So you really just want to make sure that you communicate with that person, so you guys know what you want to have in the room together, what you don't want to have, who's going to be in charge of cleaning, things like that. So definitely make sure you get in contact with your roommate to figure out who's bringing what, so you guys aren't doubling up on stuff, and it makes it a lot easier on you, because it's like, you know, you're paying for all your stuff for you, so you know, you guys can kind of split the amount of who's bringing what, which worked out really well for my roommate. What else? Decorative stuff, big one. If you guys are this is your first time really being on your own and going out to explore things, I highly suggest bringing stuff that's going to make you feel like you're at home, because there's nothing better than feeling at home in a foreign place. And if you can find that balance in your own dorm, it's amazing. Like for me this year, this is my first year being in my own dorm well, we have an apartment size dorm, but like I said before in my other video, but it's my first time being in a space of just my own. So without somebody there to talk to right across the room from you, it can be a little intimidating. So definitely having photos up, it's like, oh, you can look at those photos and be like, oh, my family's there. I definitely have a lot of photos in my room. I personally, my mom can attest to this, and I would not be surprised if she commented later, but if you have something that, you know, maybe like your mom or your brother or your siblings that like you really care about, and it like means a lot to you, ask them to take it, or just take it. I mean, okay, taking it is a little harsh, but I just took it. Like, I have this gold blanket that was my mom's at first, but like I took it with me because it made me feel like a sense of home. Like, I know this is weird, please don't judge me for this, but it smells like her, and like I'm a mama's girl, like for real. So like being around her 24/7 and like going from not seeing her every day to like FaceTiming her, having something that was hers that now is mine because I took it, makes me feel a lot better. And like it brings down, like, you know, the anxiety levels. It just makes you feel all cool and loved inside and stuff like that. Definitely keep in touch with your family. That's another big one. Keep in touch with your family. One of the biggest things I'll say that I learned from one of my favorite teachers in high school, my econ teacher, she said that the best thing you can do is cut out time to talk to your family, so that, you know, they know that you're still thinking about them, and that in that way, you know, you're not going like days and days without talking to them, and then they're worried about you, or, you know, you feel bad because you haven't talked to them. So just cut out the time. Like if you want to set a certain time of the day to be like, hey, are you guys going to be free this time? Like we can definitely talk. And that definitely helped me out a lot, although it can be kind of tricky. So just make sure that you plan it out. That being said, a lot of you guys are really gonna just want to, like, when you get to college, just not want to have anything to do with their family and be like, ooh, let's go out and explore, let's go party, let's go do that. I mean, it's kind of hard to do that with COVID, but if you really don't want to talk to your parents, because this is another thing that I learned, but I'm not gonna say that person knows who they are. Do it to where you know you have to be somewhere, and so that way you can use it as an excuse. Those of you who went to the same high school that I did, or know exactly who I'm talking about, you know exactly, you know this is something that is great for you. Cut out that time so you have an excuse to get off the phone. Like, you don't have to, it's just to make time for both and you guys equally feel better. Like, your parents will be happy. And if you're thinking about getting into mischievous or mischievous, however you say that word, stuff, it's a great way to, I guess, like, get your parents off your back. Like, hey, I call them at this time every day, so they get used to hearing from you at that time every day, and then they're gonna call you at that time, or you're gonna call them, and then you don't have to worry about them being in your business all day long, or whatever is going on. See, ladies, I would highly suggest if you're staying in a dorm and you know, you have like night classes or any type of class during the day, always have some type of security for yourself. That could be pepper spray, that could be a taser, that could be whatever is going to make you feel comfortable. But also every school is different, so make sure you check with the guidelines to see what you're allowed to have. Most of them all say that you can have pepper spray. If you plan on going like out on the town, I would say have like pepper spray, maybe a taser or something, just something to make you feel like you're protected and make you feel secure, because you are young and you are out on your own, and so having that security is going to be really, really, really important. For guys, same thing for you. Like, you can this is not just for girls, but I would say it's a little bit more prominent, but for guys as well, like, have each other's backs. Like, you know, if you have a really close friend group that you guys want to get in, like when you meet at school and get in contact with, like, you guys can share your locations with each other, so that, you know, if something ever happens, you can be like, oh my god, I know where they are. You know, you have more information about that person just to be safe in what you're doing. Oh, so now let's talk about actual class. And let's talk about actual class. So class, it's not as bad as you think it is, but it feels like that before you even go. Like, even now, I can tell you I start class tomorrow, which is a Monday. This video won't be out till Wednesday, so you'll see this video after I've already started class. And if you guys want to see a video on that, about how my first day went, let me know down in the comments below, or like this video and I'll make one then too. But class is it's different. It's very, very different. In high school, I feel like all of the teachers are always like, we're preparing you for college. This is what this is. And if you watch my previous video about how my experience was my first year of college, I said the same thing. The only class that I felt like high school prepared me for was English and math. Your core classes, you'll probably feel like high school prepared you for. But your major, if you already know what your major is, it's nothing like that. It's completely different for me. I mean, you may feel like it is, but for me, it was completely different. I would say kind of keep your cool, because just as nervous as you are for the first day, there are people who are going to be even more nervous or are thinking that everybody's looking at them. So I would say just be nice to everybody, because everybody is experiencing the first day just like you are. And they're trying to get used to things, and they might be a little snappy because they don't know where to go or how to feel about what's going on. But just be aware and be really, like, understanding of other people kind of facing the same thing that you are. Definitely, I would say, as far as like in your classes, which I'll get into, like, talking about COVID and how it's changed a lot. But if you have any in face-to-face classes, I know for us, we have to be like 6 feet apart or whatever, which is fine, but find a buddy. I can't stress this enough. Find a buddy, somebody you can sit with in that class, or somebody you can text and ask for notes or ask for help or do study groups with, because that is so important. Like, you would not believe how much easier your college experience will be if you find somebody that you can get really close with. Honestly, you become friends with the people that you end up like helping each other in class. That's how I met one of my closest friends. Now me and her are like this, and that was just from, we met each other in one of our bio lectures, and after that we were like, all right, let's study together. Then since then we've made our schedules together so that we always see each other. You always have somebody that you know in your classes, so you always feel a little bit more comfortable and stuff, and you always have the help. And so if you miss a day of class, maybe that person goes to class and they can get all that information for you, and stuff. So definitely find a buddy. I highly recommend it. They might become your best friend for life. If you need help in your class, ask your professor, ask somebody in the class that you know that may have that knowledge. But if it's really pertaining to the class, email your professor, ask your professor, get help. Don't wait, because you're gonna wait and then maybe fail the class. It may feel intimidating, because I know for me, talking to some of my professors was pretty intimidating, or emailing them was pretty intimidating, because you're like, oh my God, they don't want to talk to me. They don't want to know what's going on. They're not going to help me. They want to help you. I can't like even say how many times last year that my professors were like, oh, come see me during my office hours and I can explain this to you, or come see me during my office hours and I can help you do this, that, and the other. Talk to your professors, communicate with them, get to know them. That's really important, because getting to know your professor and the end of semester can be a really important thing. When you have a relationship with your professor, which is just like they're helping you, or they're sending you somewhere where you can get the help, they're setting up with tutors, or they're giving you extra work so that you can get the practice in and stuff like that. You're building that relationship. So like the end of semester comes, and say for example you're really struggling trying to meet that, maybe you have a B and you really know you can make an A, but you're struggling to hit that cusp. That relationship with your professor can be the whole change. They can, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you can ask them and be like, hey, is there anything else I can do? Like, I'm on the cusp. I really want this A. I really want this B. Like, is there anything I can do? And because they know how diligently you work and how hard of a worker you are, and how bad you want it, and them working with you, them seeing all of that, they will sometimes be able to give you like extra work. Or it could be like you may be 0.1 away, and they might be like, okay, well, they worked so hard in my whole class that I don't understand why they don't have it, but because they've done all this and they've come to see me, and now it's just a matter of 1 point or 2 points, I'll give it to them. So definitely see your professors. Let them get to know you. You get to know them, even if it's just they know your name. That's really important. Like, if your professor knows your name and you guys become really well acquainted, it's awesome, because you feel more comfortable to go and talk to them and tell them what's going on. Now let's talk about this year, because it's different. Excuse the background. So this year for me, my classes are very weird, I guess. So as most of you know, a lot of the classes, if you went back to college, are now online. Some of them are doing hybrid classes, some of them are doing still only face-to-face. But whatever it is, we're all gonna get through it. Don't stress. I'm stressing, but I'm bringing myself down from the stress. You know, I got a little, what's that thing? I got a little diffuser. Let me see if I can show you guys. Oh, you can kind of see it burning from the top, but I got me a diffuser because this is stressful for me, but I'm just trying to keep my cool, because I know it's an adjustment for everybody, but it will all work out. I highly suggest the day before classes or the day after your first classes, sitting down with an agenda book. Get an agenda book. I can't stress this enough. Get an agenda book, or get some type of calendar, some type of way of keeping notes, keeping track of your work, keeping track of appointments. Get one. Just get one. It's so important. Let me tell you why. Because you're gonna get all these different syllabi. Not only you would have got those with being in school normally in college, but now you're having to do everything online, which means your professors more than likely aren't gonna remind you, hey, there's an exam this day, or hey, you have a quiz this day. They're not gonna be able to tell you in class like, oh, you have this, 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 and this. No, it's gonna be your responsibility no matter what to remember that you have these and when you're supposed to study. They're not always gonna remind you. So having a calendar or a planner or something to keep you organized where you can write down what exactly you have to do is so important. Some people think it's crazy and it's a little over the top, but I can tell you, even my roommate has an agenda book, and you know, last year, your first year, they're gonna kind of help you out because they know that you're freshmen. Most of your teachers are gonna know that you're freshmen, because you're gonna probably take freshman courses, which is fine, nothing wrong with that. Everybody has to take them, but keeping yourself organized is so important, because it's going to feel like you have so many things piling up on you. But if you can know when you're supposed to do those things and have a set allotted time for you to catch up on those things or take care of those things, that's going to be really important, because it'll just make everything easy for you. It'll take the stress off, because you can be like, oh, at this time I know I have to do this. And if you're a procrastinator like me, you leave a little time at the end and be like, okay, well, I know I have to do this at this time, but let me move it to this time. So you know, but you still get it done. Staying organized is so important. Like if I don't stress anything else, staying organized, stay important. But no, staying organized is really important, because it's just, if you're not, you're really gonna have a hard time, because deadlines and classwork and responsibilities and maybe time to go home or time to relax is really going to become overwhelming for you, and you will get swallowed up. And it will be stressful. So just stay organized, keep your papers organized, keep your stuff organized. So with the online thing, you can still do that. I would suggest, like I said, the first day, I didn't explain this all the way, but the first day that you get your, the day before classes, or any time before the classes, or maybe the day of your first couple classes, just after you've gotten a taste of everything, sit down, open up your agenda, open up your calendar, or write down on a piece of paper, take your syllabi, because they're going to be, most of the professors will have already posted them on whatever you guys use as your online platform. They will have already posted that, so that you already know all that stuff. Sit down, write all this stuff down in your agenda, write all this stuff down in your calendar or on a piece of paper. Write it all down so that you have it, you know it's there. I personally use 3 different types of organization things. I use an agenda, I use the calendar, as you guys saw in my room tour, and I also use my phone. There are tons of apps for like appointments, and and just scheduling, because you're gonna have other stuff besides class, and people are gonna want to hang out, and you're gonna want to make sure you have time to do that. So just sit down and kind of get all your things and put them in one place, because then you can go back to that thing and be like, okay, this day I have this is what's going on, I can't do this. And then you don't have to let anybody down if it's a friend thing, or you know when you're supposed to study. If it's a class thing, it just makes life a whole lot easier. Oh, go to class. Just go to class. Just go. If you have to miss class occasionally, that's fine. If you have something validly that you're missing class for, or you know that day that there's nothing going on in class, don't go. But like, just go to class, because honestly, there may be a day where something really important comes up and you've missed all your days of class. Like, they give you I know my school, they take attendance. So if you, if the teacher themselves takes attendance, you definitely are kind of, best way to put it, screwed in that situation, because if you don't go to class, they take attendance, it gets docked on your stuff, and you can only miss so many days before they either drop you from the class, they write down an incomplete, or you fail, period. So just go to class. I will say I've been guilty of a couple of days not going, but most of the time it was because I knew in that class there was nothing going on. Like, we would have class before, and your professor would be like, okay, so this day in class we're just going to be doing we're just gonna, for example, English, we're just gonna be working on your papers. We're just gonna be going over that. I'm gonna give you some feedback on your stuff. And so I was already finished with my papers. So I would turn them in, and then I didn't have to go that day because I was already done with my paper. So I'm just waiting for the feedback to be put back on it. So, you know, stuff like that. You can get ahead on your work. That's also a good characteristic to pick up. Get ahead on your work. You get ahead on your work. It's less stress for you later because you already have it done. Although it can be stressful trying to get it all done and then moving to it later. But just get it done. Just get it done. But go to class. Just go to class. And if you, for some reason, you just don't want to go to class, you're not feeling it that day, for real, and you just feel like even if you go, you're not going to be paying attention, you're not going to be doing whatever you're supposed to do, make sure you know at least what's going to be going on in that class. That's why I said it's important to have a buddy, or you can email your professor that day, but it's important to have a buddy so that you can ask that person, hey, what happened in class? Is there something I can catch up on? What do we do? So that you can do it in your own comfort of your own time, kind of thing, and just make sure it still gets done. Or if they are a professor where you have to sign your attendance in, you can have your buddy sign your attendance in. Y'all didn't hear that from me, so I don't even know what you're talking about. But that's why it's important to, I said, find a buddy. Find, you know, they don't even have to be your best friend. It could be somebody that you talk to in that class. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do. And that's on period. You gotta do what you gotta do. All in all, it is going to be an adjustment because of COVID. A lot of things are closed. Campuses are getting treated differently. There's a lot of new regulations. Make sure you guys are wearing your masks. Make sure you're being safe. Make sure you're following rules. I know for our school, they're taking it somewhat seriously, very seriously, as far as the masks are concerned. But just make sure you're wearing your mask, make sure you're staying safe, and make sure you're not getting out of school. Because I know for us, you can only get caught so many times without a mask. You get a fine, you gotta pay your fine. You don't pay your fine, they stack up, you get in trouble, and it just becomes a whole thing. Or you know, you're likely to have to go talk to the dean of students for not wearing your mask. Why you're not wearing your mask? They're gonna tell you to leave from class. Just wear your mask. Like, I know it's hot, it's stuffy, it's sweaty. But at the end of the day, they're not only worried about you, they're worried about everybody else. And the only reason why we're really able to come back to school is because we can kind of control how much what's going out if we're wearing masks and using hand sanitizer and doing all that sort of thing. So I know a lot of schools gave out masks, so I'll show you guys mine, which I think is really cute. Oh, I dropped it. Ours mascot is a cougar, so we have these cute little like cougar masks. It smells weird. Oh, it smells like Lysol. So we have these cute little like cougar masks, which I think is so cool. But yeah, so like you may get one of those, and you know, hey, and you can, if you're worried about like your mask not matching your outfit, girls, take yourself to Target or somewhere, or somebody that you know that does roll with fabrics. Have them make you masks that match your outfit. Like, I know I got a couple from Target. Definitely black is always the way to go because black kind of goes with everything. But I got a couple different masks from Target that go with that I can kind of match with different things. So just be open to the whole situation and things like that. I think that's it. Make sure you have all your school stuff, anything that you feel like you're gonna need, any extras, things like that. But yeah, I think that's it. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope I was able to give you a few tips and give you some information about school, what to expect. And as always, guys, just have fun, you know, do your work, stay on top of things, have fun, but just find a balance. Your balance is going to be your lifeline. Find a balance and you'll be just fine. So like I said, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was informational. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment, especially if there was anything that I didn't exactly say, comment them down below. Maybe you want to know something about that I didn't say in the video. Comment down below and I will reply back to your comment and answer on any advice or tips that you guys are wanting to know or need. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, like I said, like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you guys next week with a new video. Bye.